People, deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in. Now, I can't imagine you don't already have it, but if you haven't, please make sure you check out the link. Link is in the description and get to downloading the One Football app. One Football, all one word, people. And again, I've spoken about it before. It's your one-stop shop for everything. Transfer news, views, opinions, coverage, statistics. They're on the ball. They've got everything. You know, they follow your favorite team. They follow everything going on. Like I said, the One Football, the One Football app. Link is in the description. Make sure you go and get that, especially because it's during the Euros now. They're on the ball. All sorts of Euros opinions. Like I said, transfer news. They're on the ball. But I can't imagine you haven't got it already. If you haven't, check out the links in the description. Get to downloading. Like I said, One Football, all one word. Get to downloading. And I look forward to all of you guys telling me how great it was. I'm out. Some 40 seconds in. Let's get into Saliba. Now, it's best I just read the article first, man. What happened to my voice? Read the article first, man. What happened there? I don't know what accent that was or why my voice came out like that. I've lost my voice in the celebrations. Maybe I was a Mancunian or something in a past life, man. Right back. That's probably Liverpool. But anyways, William Saliba's agents meeting with Arsenal's chief Edu as Gunners closing on Ben White. Arsenal defender could leave the club again this summer. Like, I don't want to keep sounding like a broken record, but I do not mind Saliba going out on loan. If he can go somewhere, whether that's Newcastle, ideally Newcastle or someone in the Prem, I would rather him get 20, 30 games. If you're not going to get that at Arsenal, go get that. So you build on the confidence you've found at Nice, and then you do that. And obviously in the Prem, you get more confident because, yeah, you're doing it in France. And I'm not the guy who says, Liga, Prem, you can do it there, you can't do it here, and all of that stuff. My point being, you want to play in England because you moved to Arsenal. You play in the league. It makes you more comfortable. There's always that sort of nervousness until you've been blooded in. So for me, playing at Newcastle would help him a lot. He would learn a lot. With respect to Newcastle, 9 times out of 10, their backs are against the wall. So he'd have to learn to focus. Me personally, I said it yesterday and I want to say it again. Ben White, I think we should be looking, if Saliba has to go out on loan, I think Saliba should be going to Thingy, man. Saliba, I think he should be going to what's his face, man? Brighton. I personally think he should be going to Brighton personally because he would learn a lot. You've got Graham Potter, who is a great manager in terms of development and playing well. He would learn a lot from Dan Burn if he's still there. Duffy, if he doesn't, I swear Duffy isn't going to sign permanently for Celtic. Dunk as well. And obviously the system. I said it yesterday, but what did we sit here and hear? Ben White was part of the Brighton team who, when you get past a certain point in the league, they've kept X amount of clean sheets. Now, obviously, we've been keeping clean sheets, but that doesn't mean Ben White's going to come here and bring that. That shows us something to build upon. My point to that is clearly there's a good system defensively at Brighton. There's an emphasis on defending. There's an emphasis on defending properly as well as playing attractive football. And you see they play free at the back. They do different things. So I think that would be a great education for Saliba personally, as I do think playing with the Newcastle fans would be. So I think you should be loaning Saliba to the Prem. He's been linked with Southampton, Newcastle. I'm on that. Primarily, I'd love him to stay at Arsenal first choice, but I would be sending him to Brighton. I don't think it's going to happen, really. And for Saliba, obviously playing at the Olympics, he's not going to have a pre-season, so that rules out the whole training under Arteta, seeing what you can do. He might come back to the Emirates temporarily while he sorts out a move. But yeah, man, and obviously I hope playing in the Olympics for what it's worth gives him some confidence, man. And, Gnabry went there, got his confidence and never looked back. Hopefully we're able to benefit. I don't think it's the end of the world if Saliba goes on loan. Equally, I do, because I want to see the guy play for Arsenal. And what scares me is not the fact that he's gone on loan again to St. Etienne, that he's gone on loan to Nice, that he could go on loan again. It's the development plan, because you don't have, it just seems like we're like, all right, cool. He's got potential to be a good player in the future, Ideally, we should be licking our lips and saying, Saliba, if you could play your position, you, Jules Okonde, all you guys could scheme on centre-back places next year. I know you all saw the France game and how that back three was playing, Pavard, if you count him in his natural position. So we should be looking at that. It's like we just sign a man that we hear's got potential and just think just by buying him, he's going to reach it. When you don't loan him out last summer, when you mess around in those months, not giving him any league football, any Europa League, and you're giving it to Mustafi and all these things, you're playing catch up. So for me, it's just a plan. I want to see proactiveness. If the plan is to keep William Saliba, make it abundantly clear from the start. If he's to go on loan, yes, I know it's complicated because he's at the Olympics and things, but sort it out early. Don't let this be one of them that end of August we're scrambling trying to find things and things like that. So yeah, man. But actually scrolling with the article, as you lot can see, well, you all saw Saliba's agent yesterday go into Arsenal for talks, as you would expect. But apparently William Saliba's agent is today, which was yesterday, sorry. William Saliba's agent today is meeting with Arsenal technical director Edu to hold talks over the defender's future. According to reports, Saliba's agent posted a picture on his Instagram this afternoon, appearing to show he had arrived at a meeting. Reports say he was at Highbury House ahead of speaking to Edu, which, you know, Edu's the technical director. You're not quite the manager, but you should be telling us how you see Saliba in year 1, 2, and 3. And just, if I'm his agent, I want some damn clarity, because you've arguably brought me here under false pretenses. You know, if they told Saliba when you signed that we think you can be a player for the future, but you're not levels right now, which Edu and Arteta weren't there, that's fair enough. But the whole thing has changed, and for a young man, he must feel like he's been hoodwinked. He's been linked with AC Milan. He's linked with that toilet, that club down the lane, and he might have even got game time there. There's a bunch of other options. He could have arguably stayed at St. Etienne, but he chose us. For me, I'd rather hear what Arteta has to say. I'd feel, Edu can speak on behalf of Arteta or can relay things, and he is the chief director. But for me, I want to hear from Arteta's mouth. And I think Arteta, if I don't know, because he hasn't said it, I think Arteta owes it to himself as a manager to do things the right way. And I think you should have been at that meeting, if it's physically possible, with Saliba, or you need to have meetings, because you keep hearing Saliba was told last season. He hasn't been told specifically what to improve. You need clarity, If he might be just inventing it in his head that they want me to leave and things, but uncertainty creates these doubts. Tell him, man, I think you're levels, but right now you're not in it. And right now, I can't, you could even say, which I think is the case, I can't lie, you can be part of the squad, but I look at it, Gabriel's there, we're bringing in Ben White, Holding's done okay. I think you can chuck it to Holding, but he's done okay. Marie's probably cool to sit on the bench, and so is Chambers. That's 5 man, bro. There's no European football. There's 40 games on paper right now, two in cups if we don't go through. He's probably saying, you know what, all right, bro, you need to go on loan. You could stay and play and stuff, but I think you'd benefit from going somewhere where it's 20, 30 games specifically minimum. And I hear that. That's why, although I wanted him to stay and not go to St. Etienne, I understood it. Although I think he should have got game time last season, I understood the Nice thing. And again, I just think he needs clarity. So for me, if I'm not hearing from the manager, I'd feel some sort of way. Like I said, Edu can relay as much as he wants, and arguably it's Edu who needs to have this, because he's the technical director. Arteta's the head coach. The technical director should be, it's Arteta's job it's a complicated one, but it's his job to filter through what players he wants and doesn't want. But Edu needs to know how players are shaping up. Martinelli in year 1, Martinelli, Saliba, all these other young players are looking like this. This is what we want for them. We're doing this in the window. So I think Saliba is due being told what the club's plans for him are, short, medium, and long term, what the club plan to do in terms of a defender. I wouldn't be phased out Saliba, because we have this habit of signing a centre-half every year, and we're still screaming it. As we know, he's still yet to make an appearance for the first team, despite being an Arsenal fan, despite the club making a whole big song and dance with the videos, despite being signed for 27 million at a time where we're allegedly broke. So we have to justify that. If Saliba goes without kicking a ball at this club, someone has to justify that mismanagement, whether they're at the club now or not. So yeah, man, I'm not going to keep up with the basics and whatnot. Again, that was the Instagram post, so he deserves that. Again, he's only 20, so it's not the end of the world if he goes out on loan. He's 20, I want to know what we're doing for him at 20 that's going to help shape him up at 21. At 21, what we're doing to turn him into a madman at 23. And then for me, it's all about 26 plus, because that's where I want you to be a France international. That's where I want you to be a leader. That's where I want all of the rough edges patched out of his game, and it's only going to happen with clarity. And for me, I haven't really seen that at Arsenal. We heard we've got individual coaches now. We heard Arteta's very hands-on, and it's not, and I understand it. You can't just dedicate all the time to him. But again, just the monkey on my back is the same could be said about Nelson, Saliba, Maitland, all of these sort of young players. Martinelli, I haven't seen one specifically given a chance on, or someone of that nature. So I don't think he'll be sold, but at the end of the day, I don't know. All options have to be on the table. I personally think he's going to go out on loan again, which isn't the end of the world. And then hopefully he gets it going next season. I would like him to stay this year. I would like him to get more game time ahead of Marie, Chambers, and Holding. But realistically, they're all significantly more experienced than him. And obviously he's playing at the Olympics. So, so is Gabriel, to be fair, but he could have maybe bagged a little space there. It's not going to happen. You know, you've had a good spell at Nice, get your confidence. Olympics, get your confidence. You know, hopefully you get a Premier League loan. You know, if it's up to me, you'd enter this season as the third choice centre half. Then it's down to you. You know, I'll probably give it towards Gabriel and Holding at this moment in time. You know, assuming Ben White don't sign. Obviously, if Ben White signed, then probably Saliba would be fourth. And then, you know, you got from now till January to earn a spot for me. If you don't earn it, then it's a loan thing. And he's got there's no need to panic, in my opinion. Well, not over Saliba. He'll reach his potential, in my opinion. Whether he does it here is another thing. There's every reason to panic over the clarity in what we're doing and the proactiveness. You know, again, he signed in 2019, 2 years ago. I don't know how long's left on his deal, but ironically, surely we've got to be considering giving him a new deal, even if the future isn't here. You know, he's gone to Nice and reminded guys what he's on. He goes to the Olympics, he'll get more advisors. He goes on loan, he excels again. We need to sort out what we're doing. When is his contract actually up, people? William Saliba contract. Signed a 5-year deal. I hope there's some option or something there as well. What's this? Current contract. When's it ending though? So, yeah, you get the point, man. Anyways. So, yeah, he's there until 23, 24. So, you'd imagine in the next couple of things we've got to decide, man. But, yeah, like I said, I really want Saliba to be part of this thing. Saliba, Saka, Tierney, Gabriel Martinelli. By God's grace, Balogun can show he can be a squad player or first teamer. You know, Smith Rowe, without saying. I want all of these guys to form part of the squad. Some of them are going to be regulars, first team on the team sheet, shirt sellers. Some men are going to be squad guys. And I think Saliba can be part of it. It's down to him. Has he been given all the tools? No, because it's down to him, but he hasn't been given a chance. But at the same time, I don't agree with all this talk about you got to throw him in, you got to throw him in. You got to throw him in at the deep end. That's why if he's not playing, loan him out. I want to see Saliba in uncomfortable circumstances. How are you going to develop as a defender? I want to see all of that. 292 of you locked in. Please make sure you're hitting that like button. So let's see what happens. But for what it's worth, I think we should be, you know, 2 birds, 1 stone. All right, cool. You know what? Brighton, we'll give you what you want. Take Saliba for a year from us, pattern him up, and we keep doing our thing. Throw in Basuma if you want, but that's how I feel in relation to Saliba, man. Anyways, man, to be fair with you, I got a love-hate relationship with Saliba on Football Manager. Really, he had to do a little loan thing for me as well before I really gave him a chance. You know, what was it? The year he came back from his loan spell on my Football Manager, I gave him a chance. 5 games doing amazing, and then we lost the FA Cup. We lost in the FA Cup quarter-final or something like that. He had an injury, but he came back and he was terrible. After that, I'm one of them, man, in Football Manager people. Once you play rubbish for me, you lose my faith still. But yeah, please make sure you're hitting the like button. 300 odd of you locked in. How many likes have we got? 128. Musk can get 200 people. And this is it, my guy. He's still young, but there has to be clarity, especially after the remarks about not getting a chance. Clarity is everything. This is it. Clarity, you know. This is where you're at. That's where, because you can't complain. If Arteta tells him what you need to perform at, what these men are doing, because that's what they should say. Arteta should be there and be like, all right, cool. Whether you agree with it or not, Gabriel, Ben White, Holding, Chambers, Marie, them men are ahead of you. Why are they ahead of you? Don't just say experience. Why are they ahead of you? They do this better than you. They do that better than you. They're more better than you at this. This is what you need to improve. This is what you need to do to get ahead of them. Then it's down to him. If you give man clarity, boom, you take it from there. So I just think I share your opinion. For me, it's just about clarity. It's just about clarity. And especially for us, if we want to be, you know, farmers in that Saliba, Gabriel, Martinelli, Saka, we're planting these little crops and we want to see them harvest. It's how you do it. You ain't going to just put a mango seed in the floor and just think, oh, well, the rain might help you, but yeah, it's going to do its job. You're going to look after it, aren't you? Or if you're growing cherries or chilies or something, you have to look after it, or avocados, or it's going to be rubby. You know, it seems like we're just planting things and expecting things to happen. And the problem is there's so much to do at this football club. I don't know if there's someone that's going to make this a priority, because I don't think one player's football future should or development should be a priority, but there should be people at the club that's their priority. There should be a coach. Saliba, but forget what Arsenal doing in the season. You are Saliba FC for a year. You are Martinelli FC for a year. You are Balogun for a year, because that's what I want to see with Balogun as well. Balogun, you're good at this, you're good at that. Lacazette and Aubameyang ahead of you. They're better than you at, not just the obvious. They're better than you at this. This is what you need to do, because that's what Chelsea do with their young players. Chelsea are sick with this academy thing, you know. I rate what Chelsea do with this thing, because they even players out on loan. They will tell a man. They'll give you reports when you go on loan. That player is ahead of you. This is what you do well and bad. This is what they do well and bad. This is what they do better than you. This is what you need to do to get in that team. This is what you need to do to that when you get that chance and you get in that team to stay there. Clarity. Then it's down to the players. Leave nothing to chance, you know. I wonder how the players feel. Saliba must feel like the fans is where I've come here, you know, people, it's football, innit? Managers and people leave, but I don't know what's going on. Personally, I think Arteta rates him. I think Arteta is doing his thing and all the things I've said, but at the same time, I think Arteta just said, you're not my guy, innit? You're not my signing, dead, innit? And to be fair to you, I don't understand why, and I'm not saying it the same, but you can give a chance to Holding. You can give a chance to Chambers, Saliba, but at the same time, he's seeing them in training. I don't think Saliba is up to the level a lot of people right now expect. He would learn a lot of tough lessons, as I keep saying. But as I also keep saying, you can't expect a man to get to that level if you've never blooded him in. You're not going to become a champion. You're not going to become Michael Phelps if you've never jumped in a swimming pool. It don't work. It don't make sense, does it? You know, it don't make sense. So there has to be something. You can't be Wiz Khalifa if you've never built it before. It don't make no sense. But that's how I feel. Hopefully there's some clarity for the young man, and it is what it is. Please make sure you're hitting the like button, folks. So yeah, so far it's been a Juventus, Xhaka to Juventus thing, nonsense. You know, we've seen Locatelli to Arsenal rumours, again, nonsense. And we've got Saliba. And yeah, man, you know what, I'm feeling to do the timestamps a bit of a different way today, people. I just think it looks a bit better today like this. I'm a bit bipolar like that. Sometimes I think it looks better under. I just think it looks a bit more prettier like this. No. I knew Sam was missing. You don't look as pretty, but there you have it, people. We're going to get into Renato Sanchez in a bit, but what are you lot saying, people? Let me get some more comments in. It would be I think you mean to say South London, big up you, my guy, because you're always supporting the team. I think it would be a big mistake if Garlic and Edu don't extend his contract and send him out on loan. Only has 2 years left. Exactly. It's deep. I don't advocate lying, but even if you got to lie to a man, that's what football's about. It's about controlling the variables. Come on, man. You know we rate Saliba. We were just moving mad last year. Sign a new deal, bro. Go out on loan. Trust me, next season, it's a you thing. You see what Saka and them man are doing? It's you, bro. World Cup next year as well. Go out on loan. Play some first team football, my brother. Try get in there. You're coming. Sign this new 5-year deal or new extension, and it is where it is. I'm on that. If I was them, I'd be doing that. You know, you got to, and then if it doesn't happen, at least we control some variables, my guy. Do you get it? But at the same time, if I'm Saliba's agent, I'm saying F off with all that. You know, you've signed my guy. He ain't kicked a ball for Arsenal, you know. All the fans have seen with Saliba is different hairstyles. We've seen him do the blonde highlight thing. We've seen him do level 1. You know, he was at Arsenal for 6 months training and whatnot, which, again, he might not be levels, but I would say F off with that deal thing. You know, you got to tell, you get it. I'll be there. I want to know what the manager has for what he's thinking. Again, if he says Ben White's all right back, which a lot of people think, then Saliba might get game time. But I just feel next season, I just think a select few of young players, the Balogun-ish, I think Balogun's as good as it gets. We're just trying to get top 4 immediately. Maybe the season after that, Saliba will get his chance. As we look to, in my opinion, you should probably look to cast off the Chambers, you know, the Maries, you know, look to demote Holding to the second, to more of a squad player like he should, because I like Holding. But if you're trying to be a consistent Champions League team, is he levels? No. I'm admirable for him. I like his mentality. I like him in the squad. I don't think he's a man we need for this sort of thing. Do you get it? But we'll have to see, man. We'll have to see. Shout out to it. Large up everybody locked in, man. You're making me, I can't lie, you lot keep adding interesting things and you keep making me change the timestamps, man. I can't miss that one there out South London. Shout out to you. Footy chat. Shout out to the members, subscribers, long-term supporters and the rest of it. I'm with you, DG. Saliba has got to join a Premier League team so we can see how he does. But knowing this club, he'll probably do the complete opposite because that's the Arsenal way. Bro, I don't mind it if he goes back to France and things, you know, he's comfortable, he's in his homeland. All them sort of things there, I don't mind it, but I just feel there's less question marks. You know, like I said, I'm not the guy who says, well, he ain't done it in the Prem and all of this, but at the same time, it's a valid question. If you play well in the Prem, it is what it is. And I just think fans, maybe the club would be people be a bit more understanding, because I just think a lack of clarity. If the club come out and say, we like Saliba, but right now, we don't think he's ready, people can say what they want, but at least there's clarity. We don't know who rates him, who don't. Arteta could like him, but Edu might be doing some political thing, and this guy might be doing something else, and other man might be baffled. I don't know what's going on in that regards, man. So it's one of them ones, really. 370 locked in. We should have at least 300 likes, man. Great opinions, great comments. Keep them coming. SS said, do you rate Nelson, DG? And what do you think will happen to him in the summer? I rate Nelson. You know, I like Nelson. I think he could be a player here. Obviously, Saka's emergence has trumped him. He was meant to be the golden boy. And such is life and sad in football. Man are looking at him like he's damaged goods at 20 years of age when He's got his best days in front of him. I'm not saying he's going to be these lot. Where was Aubameyang and Harry Kane at 20? My point, or Vardy. Where were they? My point being, it's not where you start in life, it's where you finish, Something don't come easy. And I like Nelson. I think from a human point of view, brother, leave the club, man. Go get some minutes, bro. You played 70 minutes in the Premier League. When Arteta comes out and says, oh, I feel sad because he trains well, I want to play him. We thought he was going to be the guy. You're not getting the game time. Minutes are currency. He looked like, I think if he never got injured in December, when he was doing Europa, maybe he could have played more football. I don't know. There's clearly something in the lad. He has started big games under Arteta, but I don't know what it is, man. I don't know, innit? I don't understand why Nelson, Pepe, and a couple of other men were marginalized for Willian, apart from people trying to save their own skin. And someone man them signed Willian, they had to justify it, innit? Or they had to try act like it's cool, innit? Sort of thing. It's like if your girlfriend and your mum cooks and your girlfriend's food is better than your mum's, you can't be saying it. You can't be saying it, innit? You gotta just hold it up, sort of thing. It's one of them ones. So I think you need minutes of currency, man, and you're not gonna develop, bro. You're not gonna develop without playing. So try to go on loan or leave permanently. By God's grace, things fall into place for the lad because the talent is there. What he wants to do with it is down to him. I'm hoping Patrick Vieira, take Nketiah off us permanently, take a Nelson on loan, take a Chambers or on a permanent, even though I like him, help us out, man. Take a few take Balogun for the squad. That's a big, for what it's worth, that's a big job. I spoke about it in the podcast. It's going to come out shortly after this. So make sure you're paying attention for you lazy YouTube ones. But that's a big job for Vieira, You look at it, that's an aging Crystal Palace side, Zaha allegedly wants to go. Whether he goes or not's another thing. Hella man are out of contract. They need quality anyways. It's a transitional period. They're going to need a new spine that might take time to adapt and all of those sort of things. So it's a tough, Vieira's jumped in at the deep end. Still, I think personally, at least until I see some signings or whatever, I think staying in the league has to be the priority for Crystal Palace, at least at this moment in time. Football is at one on paper, but you get it. He's still a young man, 20 years old with room to improve. Definitely needs a loan move to a Prem team. Arsenal fans getting excited by the prospect and price thing. 360 David. Many people don't understand development because how many times I've seen it with Chelsea with Hudson-Odoi, I've seen it with our players, I've seen it everywhere, Greenwood started having a bad day and some United fans casted him off. People cry for these players, but then fail to understand they're still developing. And you don't, everything said about Balogun, you don't know what you're getting for 10. I love Balogun. I sing his praises, but man, don't know what I'm getting for 10 games in the Prem. We don't. And I think that's down to Arteta to improve these, man. But yeah, man. DG, can you think of any reason why Mikel Arteta is ignoring the evidence and stats in Saliba's case? It tells me the exec structure is still weak above. Should be telling Mickey to deal with the issue. I think, I'm not going to lie, it's on Arteta, it's on Edu, it's on both of them equally. I can't really see why, even, do you know what? I said it when he went out on loan. I understood the first loan spell back to St. Etienne, but I thought he could have got game time here, innit? But I think at sometimes the young players, it's a tough one because he's young. He's going to go in, and he's going to have games where for 10 games, he's going to, like you see with Gabriel, he's going to be invincible. Nothing, you can't stop him. Equally, he's going to have 10 terrible games. So you need to know when to take someone out the firing line. Like again, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, for all much as you criticize him, Greenwood was having a bit of a tough time last year at a point, got pulled out of the lineup, come back in at the right time, doing his thing, and very unlucky for me not to be in the England squad anyways. But yeah, man, it's interesting comments, man. Keep them coming. Bro, Saliba and Gabriel at the back is deemed very risky, and that would be my centre-half for the future. But that's why centre-half partnership. But that's why we need a next centre-half, because they're both booky, because they're young. You need the more experienced one to play with them. Like I said, for 10 games, you would see quality. Other times you wouldn't, because Gabriel has problems. Saliba from aerial situations needs to improve. Saliba off the ball, a lot of improvement. And then beyond that, it's just the same old you have, when to play with the ball, when to keep it simple. He's got the ingredients, but it is what it is, man. I'd take Eze. I'd like him, but again, for me, you see the ones with Eze, we probably, it sounds silly because I always say you have to sign these guys before breakout season, but for me, we're not working with the tools we've got in it. Like, we're not excelling with Saka to a degree, Smith Rowe and these guys. So with Eze, he's kind of developing like that. So I'm a bit wary of bringing guys like this, but he was an Arsenal man. He's a wavy footballer. I love the guy. I'm on that, man. What else he lot saying, man? The man said, I've played as many minutes as a player. We've paid the 27 million for even the little pennies we do. we always mismanage. It does look like it is mismanagement in Saliba's case, because I don't think there's clarity, man. And I think Saliba would, I don't think they would be leaving permanent rumors if Saliba had some clarity, man. Like, you're not levels right now, but you can be levels, not telling a man he's good, making bringing up all his pictures from being a young Arsenal fan, the song, the private plane, you will know the song and dance. And then all of that, not to bust him. You would think about, put yourself in them shoes, people. You'd think, yo, what going for this thing? You fought to sign me. You've done all of this. What going for this thing? Like, just clarity, man. Don't leave nothing to chance, in my opinion. And I think the club need to learn from that. Where we got over the line with Ozil, but for a while, we was sitting here and talking about what's happening with Ozil. What's happening with Ozil? I'm tired of these elephants in the room. It's dead, man. DG on point once again. Got to get Arteta's personal email and send him these clips. Dark Arts FC, I want us to return to that still, man. What else you lot saying, man? Well, DG got a cut before them spuds like Kane. Shout out to Kevin, man. I appreciate you. Ain't seen you locked in for a while, man. Appreciate you, man. Good sense of humor. Oh, man. The France thing is dead now. He needs to